Okay, I believe we are sort of starting. Okay, so before we go into the new stuff, which we're not really gonna do, we're gonna do some reviews to make sure that we know what's going on and to solidify some of the knowledge here. We are going to, of course, I need to share my screen, which because I'm just clicking around, you can't see what I'm actually clicking on. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go back and let's review a little bit because again, this is very, very, very important. I'm going to keep repeating it until it becomes second nature. It has to be second nature in your mind. Okay, so, before we come here, you guys remember web page? We're good with a web page. Everybody remembers what a web page is, it, how it, what it consists of, the parts, and all that good stuff. And you guys remember that uh, variables and functions, they're just boxes in memory, right? We will
Yes.
review that, but yeah, just making sure. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now first review is web server. Okay, so yeah. I mean, we've gone over this several times, but again, it's kind of important. The way, since we're messing around, we're dealing with web applications or web pages in a way. We have a web client, which is somebody looking at a web browser, and then they go over the internet, and let's say they want to go to our web page, our application, right? Okay, so I suggest you take notes or you burn this into into your mind, into your memory. So when they go to our web server, there are going to be two things, at least for now. This is our reality. This is how we're going to be doing this. It's going to change later, but for now, this is how it's going to be. There are going to be two things. One is going to be the pages, our HTML pages, or views, right? You guys remember what a view is, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So for now, our web pages. So there's web pages here. But we've also talked about something else that is going to be on our web server. Do you guys remember that I said about that middle tier?
The code compiler.
Well, it's our middle tier, the back end. Let's call it the back end. Yeah. Well, is the compiled code? It's already compiled. Yes. Yeah. I mean, you're technically sort of right in a way, but
Compile code.
exactly. Yeah. Compiled code. Yeah. You see right here, compiled code. So they're just gonna be packages of code that we are going to use. So it's just let's call it maybe a DLL. Have you guys ever heard that word? DLL?
Dynamic Link Library.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be either some kind of DLL or some executable or some kind of, some kind of library or some kind of compiled code that you can use that is going to be on that server. So backend code. Let me save this. Oh, you have your sweet dog. Okay, so
You hear that?
oh
Wow.
yeah. No, no worries. Sometimes I hear mine here. Okay, so again, on our web server, let's call it also IIS or any kind of web server, really. We'll get there later. Um, we're going to have our HTML pages. And what else?
Compile codes.
Compiled code, yes. Our code, we're going to compile it and it's going to be there on that server. And if we need to use things, basically, it's going to be is going to go. If our web page kind of needs things from our code, is going to go to our server, like right there, and get it and do things with it. Yeah. So far so good, right? I mean, it's just the main thing that I wanted you to get from this is that on the web server we have compiled code and we have HTML pages. We have our UI. Okay, so leave that one up for now. So the next notion that I wanted to go over, which we have already, is, do you guys remember NVC? Okay, let me, there you go. Okay, I like this picture. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So a quick overview on the MVC pattern, right? Let's see. So, you might want to set it to maybe push to talk, Dave. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Push to talk.
Well, because we could hear you doing. Okay, it's good now. Don't worry, it's fine.
Doesn't work.
Okay, no worries.
Push to talk.
It's fine. Okay, so the MVC pattern. So this is the way we're going to be doing. This is how we're going to make our money programming and programming web applications. Okay, so this dude over here, or girl, is the user. And again, assume they're using some kind of browser, correct? So first thing, they're going to sort of be looking at a view, right? Okay, so remember when we were clicking around on our web page? So that led to what? What did that lead to when we clicked on any link? Do you guys remember?
It leads to an action.
Before the action, though. You are correct.
Oh,
yes.
The controller?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Home page?
Yeah. Well, the home controller, yes.
The home controller.
Yeah. So remember, the first thing that you interact, excuse me, the first thing that you interact, because you're clicking on something, you have some kind of event here, right?
Okay.
And then the engine, remember, it's all magic for us now. It's all super magical. The engine goes to the controller and says, you sent some kind of command, right, to the controller. And then it says, should I bring up the server? You guys remember? All right. I mean, you sort of remember, I think. Yeah, so you have the controller, and the controller says, hey, man, what you looking for? Okay, which controller? You're looking for the home controller? All right, so boom, it directs you to the home controller. And then in the home controller, it says, hey, man, which action which action you're looking for? So it says, oh, you're looking for the roster action. So, oh, let me get that view for you. Blip. Gets the view, then it returns it back to the user. We're not messing around with models yet. We will get there. That's the next step. Okay, so again, I think let me open it up. That way we don't get too lost here. I think it's kind of important to go over it because, like I said, understanding this part is very important. Let me open it. Okay, here we go. Shablips. So I'm just going to press here. We haven't gotten there yet. Here we go. So we have our web page, our web application, and contact right here. Here we go. So what controllers does this go to? Look at the bottom left.
The home controller.
Correct. And which action?
Roster.
Exactly. So again, the controller, all it is like a, it's a traffic controller. That's why they call it a controller. It controls the flow of your application of where you want to go, and it gets views for you. So it's like, hey man, what view you want to see? Tell me what you want to see. That's what it is, right? Tell me what you want to see. Goes gets it for you, and returns it. That's why you see it's like you got the C for MVC, the V, and you have the M. Okay, so we're not going to get into the M, like I said, into the model, but just remember that we talked about the model representing some kind of idea. So, in essence, if you wanted the information of a person, just think of the model as a person, just a variable that has a person name. And then you pass it to the view, and then you pass it back. Okay. One of the important things of the model is that you can do things to it. It keeps the value and all the changes that you do to it. So we'll get there. We will definitely get there. Okay. So far so good with the MVC part of this. All right.
So
yeah.
far.
Okay. Good. So let's see where we're at here. And now up to the next one. I'm gonna leave these open here. That way we can go back to it. So moving on. When we're in the Visual Studio and we created the project. Well, I mean, you guys know. I'm just thinking about other people there. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they see that. So we created the project. We're here. And I got this sweet button here that says IAX Express. What does that do? Anybody know? What's up?
It sets up a dummy server on your local host.
That's right. All right. Dave, you concur? You agree?
I agree.
Okay, so basically, yeah, it sets up a local fake server, but it pretty much does everything that a normal server would do. It's really powerful. So that's how you would what? Why do we want that?
Want to test our code? See
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you test the codes and you see if stuff works. Okay, so in essence, right, this thing here, this IAX Express, when I press it, it's sort of creating this bad boy here, right? That's exactly what it's doing. It's creating the web server with our pages and our code and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. Okay, so we are running. Let's see. Root. Get a whole bunch of stuff. Oh wait, where did I save it? All right. Normally it's in here, but I'm running the local one. I don't want to confuse you. Sorry. So, all right. So far, so good, right? Okay. Let me go back. I'm going to stop it. One thing that sort of threw us off last time. Well, let's go over here. All right. So, controllers, right here. And do you guys remember the word that we use on how and how, what is expected, like how the structure is its shape and why it is like that?
It's a convention.
Exactly. Boom. Oh my goodness. Let me write that down over here. Yes. Exactly. So I'm going to keep repeating that because that is very important that you guys understand why it is and what it is. It's the convention. That's basically what it means is that's the way the architects, when they created this, that's the way it works. To make it easy for other people and just to make it easy for when you write code to know where certain things are expected. That way you don't guess. For example, if you know where the views are, then you could just hard code or something like that in some places. I mean, although hard coding is usually not, but this is kind of a different case. Convention. Okay. How it is. Okay, right here. So our convention, or MVC convention, is every MVC application that you will see will always look like this. Every one. So isn't it cool how you oh, let me show you, let me give you the perfect example. You guys ready? Okay. let's see. This is my my own project from work. It's kind of big, but don't get scared. I'm running two of these bad boys at the same time, so it's gonna probably lag a little bit. Let
It's
me.
amazing that you're able to do that. I didn't know it's possible.
Oh well, yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'll tell you a funny story soon. But yes, it is. It is. Okay, so yeah, I run these and PUBG at the same time. So on a tangent here, but it's kind of important. So this is our project here. It's called Albion. Okay, so let's see. This is just a bunch of crap here. But this is Albion. This is my own project. This is what I work on every day at work. So do you guys see that it's, I mean, there's going to be new folders that we added ourselves. But again, what are some of the base folders that we're gonna always going to see? One is going to be a controllers folders, right? You see it? Right here. And you have a whole bunch of controllers, right? Don't get scared. Yeah, don't get scared. But but again, they're just controllers. And then what's another folder that I could be expecting, that should be in here?
View.
Exactly. Uh, it is the view. What? Where the hell is my? I think it's stuck here. Hold on. I think one of my buttons is stuck or something. The hell? That is weird. I think it is. Yeah, I think one of my buttons is stuck. So I'll just leave this alone for now. Oh, it is. Holy crap.
Oh, you got it unstuck?
I'm not sure. Hold on. What the hell? I might have. I hope. Yes, I did. That was scary. Because I need to clean up something. I don't know. So we have controllers, and it's happening again. That is weird. I'm just gonna leave this alone for now. I'm gonna bang my controller a little bit. I mean
Show that controller who's boss.
yeah. This is freaking weird.
Got a can of air?
Not here. But this is odd. All right, so you guys get the point. You guys see views here?
Yes.
There's views. There's controllers. There's scripts. So you will always see these. You will always see these. You will gotta see global ASX package, some stuff. But so you will always see that. So when you go to any project and you open it up, you're gonna feel at home. Correct? I mean, right? Because you're gonna know how to travel, how to get around, and that is really it's very important. It's very powerful because you could just go ahead and like, okay, hey, I want to see what's happening on this page or what's happening on this action or controller. Then you could just go straight to it. Okay, so far so good, beautiful. So let's go back to our project. So when I press this, so we have our views here. One thing that threw us off last time, and now we're picking off from where we left off. Do you guys remember when we look at what a page? Let's see. When we look at a page here, for example, a members page. Tell me what what does our page look like? What does our page actually look like? Our HTML page.
Yeah, it's much smaller than the page that shows up in the when you actually get served the view.
Exactly. So we're getting a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know where it comes from. For example, like where does all this stuff comes from here? Application name, where all these links come from, where this footer come from, like what the hell is this? So what we're going to do is we are not going to think about it. We're not going to worry about that. So I'm about to do something ugly. Something Yep, I'm about to do something ugly. And because right now it's been kind of, I don't know. Let's see. It's been kind of magical in a way, right? Let's see. Forget about this. Just forget about this right here. Let me see if I could just do it like this. Might not work. I might need to delete it. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Give me 1 second. Damn it. Actually, no. Just for brevity's sake and for to make it easy on us, I'm just gonna leave it there. Instead, I'm just gonna explain what it is. Okay, so what this is, okay, you see this layout.html, cs.html?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a special file that .NET, well, .NET Visual Studio that we're going to be using. And this is going to be the layout of our page. It looks daunting, it looks pretty scary, but don't let it get to you, it's not. All it is just HTML. That's all. And you see these are the links here, right? Got the links. And there's a footer over here somewhere. And yeah, there's a footer over here. So, and also you should really get in the habit or of not being scared of looking at HTML. HTML is really straightforward, and it's, while it looks kind of confusing, it's pretty straightforward. It's not that difficult. Okay, so yeah, we got this, got the classes, got this. All right. These are the links. So you see where it says render body here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And render body, what this does is puts in our web pages here. It basically switches, takes all the code that goes in here.
That's all where the @ symbol starts, basically.
Yep, right here. So it's gonna be here and here.
What's the word for that when they put like a 1 and you have to look at the footnote? Maybe that's a footnote.
Oh yeah. That's true, yeah. So it in a way that's exactly what it is. It's like it's substitute. It's called a template in a way, I think. That you provide information. It switches parts or inserts parts for you. But yeah, the footnotes, it's definitely a good way of putting it. Well, these are forced footnotes because it goes in and looks for it and it switches whatever it is. Is this good for you guys? Because I don't want to confuse you. You get that. Let me go over it. Just pretend that they're just normal HTMLs, and they are.
I mean, like, I don't understand everything going on the page, but
yeah,
for the sake of the illustration, yes, it's very clear.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, for now, do not worry about what is in here. I mean, just assume that this is good and this is good. We're just going to worry about what's in the middle for now. I mean, is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so again, this page is a special page that is going to be the layout for your whole website. So, if I were to take out this page here, basically, if I were to take out this page, what would our website look like? Anybody know? Well, let's test it out. Yeah, I just want you guys sort of to get that idea. Okay. This is the file that says, hey, use this page as the layout. Okay. So remember, it's just substitute parts of a web page for you. So right now, we're not using a layout. So we're just going to use the straight up files.
Is it possible to work without a layout? Will it just
Oh, yes.
display our page as we wrote it?
Yeah, no, that's what we're sort of going to do. It's up to you now. Let's do that. Let's do that next, actually. That way you guys understand it. But I want you to get the idea. So now, you see, so which, well, let's see. So
We don't have the hot links anymore.
nah, so we have to, let's go to roster. That way, okay, there we go. So once we go to the roster action, right, since we're not using that layout anymore, is all this returning is what?
It's just the roster page.
Exactly, it's a straight up roster HTML, that's all. We can see it straight here. Right here, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Okay, so let's hey, why not add the links? Let's say that we wanted to add links to our page to connect to the other ones. How would I go about that? Like in our document here, we wanted to add links on top here.
Oh, like an ahref?
Yep. So we can do that, and but since we know they're somewhere already, remember what is it that we get paid for? Remember, Google and copy code. That's what we do. So have we seen the links somewhere, like anywhere else? Have we seen them?
I'm not sure what you're asking, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanna have the same links that we had before on top. Like when we had the view, like let's see, when we had the layout. Remember those links that we had on top there, the navigation bar, let's call it. So I want to use that navigation bar in a roster page. So I want to add it here.
Okay, so we were just looking at there was a whole bunch of links describing the page and the controller.
Right here.
The link. Yeah, that. Yeah.
This bad boy here. Right here. So if I copy this here, I know we're just going a little fast, but you guys will get it in a second. So I'm gonna copy here, Maggie. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this here. And I'm even gonna, in fact, I'm even gonna copy this here. My dog doesn't want to go up the stairs. She's afraid. So I'm gonna copy these links here, and let's see if it works by copying them here. So, shall we? Whenever you make a change here, you could go back to the browser and press F5 to refresh the page. Is that cool?
Yes.
Sweet. I suggest you to Control F5 because Control takes away the cache as well. Because sometimes you have stuff in the cache anyway. So yeah. So refresh it, and oh man, look at that. So now.
It's not as pretty, but it
functions.
functions.
Exactly. No, that's what we're going for. Yeah, that's what I told her too. But yeah, it's I told her this weekend. But anyway, let's see. So we got some links here, and again, we're not using that cool page or layout or anything. This is straight up HTML. And so we have this. So I'm going to go to contacts page. So tell me, do you guys see where the contact page is going?
Oh, hey, yeah.
It goes to the place that we want it to go. But what will happen when I click on the contact page? I'm going to click on it. Here we go.
It's pretty bare too, right?
Shabloops, look at that. Yep. It's because all the contact pages, let's go watch it. Check it out. All the contact pages is just a whole bunch of information, like address information. You see? Contact page. Basically, this is the same thing. These are kind of keywords. Don't worry too much about these. We'll go over them later. But do you see what these are? Basically, this is the same information that we have in this page. It looks a little different because it's actually styled. You see, they're using, hey, strong means bold. Strong and bold is kind of the same thing, or very similar. You see how it is? See, it's like this. And then you got href. So yeah, so if I wanted to put links in here too, what do I need to do?
Copy and paste.
That's right. Copy and paste what?
The class function from layout.cst.html.
Well, not the class function, just the links.
Right, the links.
Yeah. Oh, you meant like this thing?
Yes,
no,
that thing.
Yeah, no. Because what we want really are just these things here. They're the links. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this is a helper. For us, this creates. I'm going to show you exactly what it creates. Then we'll go from there. So let's. I'm going to save it. I'm going to show you I'm going to ask you what would be the equivalent of this. Okay, so let's run it. I'm going to F5 it. Boom. You guys see that? It's like magic, right? So can I go back and forth in the contact and roster now, you think?
I'd hope so.
Let me see. So roster. Look at that. That's pretty sweet, right? Roster contact. So pretty much, what about these guys here? Do they have the info? Yeah.
Back button a little bit.
Yeah. Sort of. But yeah, you see these guys don't have it, right? So let's give it to them. That way, all of them have the navigation. And that way we don't have to be so confused about that other page, which is sort of really kind of confusing. Maybe not, but I don't know. Okay, F5. Get the home. You see about. So since we had the navigation, we can traverse, we can go from one to the other. Isn't that cool?
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we had that happening already with the layout, but now we don't need a layout. We're going like this. Now I'm going to ask you a cool question. See roster here. If I wanted to inspect or check out, if I wanted to know where roster goes, or what the HTML looks like on that link, how can I do that?
You mean from the browser?
Yes.
I think that was F12, right?
That's right, F12 in it. That's where the money is. Remember, F12 is your friend. F12 is where the money is at. And for some reason, it's on the right side, which I really hate. But anyway, F12. So we got that F12 going for us here. Okay, let me try to dock this somewhere. God damn it. Toggle device toolbar. All right, let me spend 2 seconds moving this thing. Nope. All right, I'll toggle it. I'll move it around later. Oh, what's this? I hate moving this thing around. Pain in the butt. But anyway, okay. So if I wanted to see what goes here, normally this is going to be on top or it's going to be hovering somewhere. Just put it wherever you like. So we have roster. So let's inspect roster. Okay, so do you guys see what that is? What is it?
It's an anchor.
That's right. Look at that. It is. And the href, remember we're talking about href. Href is the address of where you want the anchor to go, correct?
Uh-huh.
Sweet. So it is an anchor. And for now, I'm going to copy this. Just copy the element. And I'm going to copy it. And let's go to the roster page here. And let me know if you notice something, or let's see. LI. href is going to tell you something. This tells you, if something is going to, let's see, we're in UL. I'm already in here, so yeah, sorry. Yeah, it tells you if there's something wrong or if there's not. It's going to be a little bit, all right. Okay, so I know, right? Well, let's see. I'm going to continue. Do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm just putting a link here, roster. I'm going to call it roster pure HTML. All right, let me refresh. Okay, so I'm going to go to roster. Okay, did it go to roster? It worked, right? Well, let's see. Let's hover over roster pure HTML. Let's see where it's going. Huh? Is it going to the same place?
Looks like it.
Let's see. It is. It is. It actually is the exact same thing. You see, it creates an action that goes to the home controller, and it goes to the roster action. So we kind of, well, not sort of skip ahead, but I want you to, this is your introduction to HTML helpers. Don't get too confused on these. These are helpers. These help you create HTML. And they make it kind of easier for you to create certain elements, forms, action links, all sorts of cool stuff. The one thing that you will notice, sometimes it's much easier just to use normal HTML, correct? Than the actual link. I mean, than the actual HTML helper. This and this are the same thing. They are, the output is the same thing. So like I said, .NET and the viewer, which is called Razor, what we're using, the viewing engine, is called Razor, takes this and turns it into HTML. That's all it does. It spits out HTML. So you could either use the helpers, or you could just spit out, type out HTML straight up. For now, we're most likely going to be spitting out, just typing straight up HTML because it's kind of convenient for us and we know what it is. And that way we don't get confused. But I want you to be aware of what helpers are and don't be afraid of them. Test around, play around with them, and don't get confused by them, because all that is, they're just trying to help you. All they do is create HTML code for you.
Is it mostly cosmetic, or is there like some actual benefit that we get from using them? I mean, they look more readable in a sense to me.
Yes, we get we definitely get some. Let's see. Let me try to think of a couple here. There's definitely a couple of benefits. The number one benefit for us that we're going to be encountering, at least not yet, is, you see, when you use these, they work with our models inherently. Like, they're created to work and handle our information. So that might not make much sense now. So remember when I was talking about a person model? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a person model or a car model. And just imagine that we pulled out your information, right? Let's say, Dan's info, and it contains the information, his address, his, all his info. And let's represent that as a model. And we're going to be editing that information, changing it, and updating it or retrieving it. So far, so good? Okay. Um, these guys are made so it makes it easy to interact with us. And there's going to be certain actions that they're going to be automatically done for you when you use these guys here. For example, let's say that I wanted to change your address. If I were to use HTML, I would have to do several things in order to be able to change your address. While if I use one of the helpers, the engine itself knows, oh man, okay, you want to change this address? It sort of automatically knows what you want to do, and it does it for you.
You only have to change it in like one place, and it'll fix all the links.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And also, we're not only talking about the links. I'm talking about other things, like especially for forms. I should have said that first. Most
No,
of
you make sense. It was just
Yeah.
we're working with the links, so I'm trying to work in that framework.
No, I got you. Yes. Yeah. So, but for these things, a lot of the times, I personally, when I get pissed off or something, because sometimes these things don't give you exactly what you want, or there's special cases when you need special characters or like special names or something. I just go straight to HTML and just say fuck it, give me this shit. Especially with hidden fields. Are you guys aware what a hidden field is?
No.
Okay. A hidden field in a form, all it is a form that has information, but you don't want the user to see. We will get to it when we go back there. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Okay, remember what we're doing today. It's somewhat going over some of this and making sure that we're all on the same page and that we understand. So HTML files. Don't forget, let's ignore this view start thingy here. We got controllers and we got actions. Okay, so now, does anybody need a few minutes or something, or are you good? Because we're about to probably get into some more stuff, I think. Some of the, okay, you guys good? Yeah.
Good. Yep.
Okay, so up to now, I think we're pretty solid on the basic of MVC, C sharp, and how it all works out. But now the next step is, what are we doing all this for? Well, first of all, let me ask you the basic question. Right now, we have our own website here. This is a website. Even though this website kind of sucks, right? It's not really styled, or it doesn't do anything. Ideally, we could just grab these files and put them on a server somewhere. Like, we could rent a server from GoDaddy and grab all these files, and they would. It's because it's a website. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
I know it's very silly, and it's kind of, but it's a good concept to get. Also, let's see, where are these dudes? Let's go over here. All right. Am I running? Oh wait, I'm running. Oh, David. Okay, so let's see. I want you to see what it looks like, sort of. Okay, so we have, what is it? Users, Z Herrera. Oh, I could just copy this. Let's explore a little bit. Okay.
I had a question for you regarding you're copying pasting some
Yes.
directories here.
Hit me.
Are you familiar with a program that is called Everything?
No. Is it Jiggy? Let me write
I
it down.
highly recommend it. It's a search engine that you use in Windows. It'll like search for pretty much any file on your system.
Oh, I need that.
Way faster than Windows ever could.
Ooh, all right. I definitely did because I'm always searching for stuff.
I've been using it for a couple of years. It's completely changed the way I use the Windows Explorer.
Mm. Yeah, I need that because me and the Windows Explorer don't have a very good relationship. Like it's I'm always taking too long looking for stuff because I have stuff all over the place. Um, but no, I'll get it. Thank you. Oh yeah, I got to remind you guys of VS Code later. But yes. Okay, so let me show you something here. Don't get confused. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Okay, so this is sort of what our project looks like as in the file system. We don't really need, you know, most of these things. There's just a bunch of crap here. But do you guys see what it says bin?
Bin.
Yeah, bin is for binary right here. Right here. Actually, sometimes it's OBJ as well. Actually, let's go to OBJ, yes. Okay, so yeah. So let me go back here. OBJ. Do you guys see anything that looks like the name of our program? I mean, our project. It is right here.
Well, now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so if we were to, if we want to deploy this somewhere on a web server out there, you go to GoDaddy, say like, hey man, I want you to host my application. All you would need is these bad boys here. Well, not all, but yeah. This is pretty much our project. Well, I mean, that's kind of it's a simplified version because if our project needs other libraries, then you would need those libraries as well. But I just wanted you to see what it looks like what our files look like. Okay, we got some home here. You copy these bad boys over there and all that good stuff. But let's go back. Sorry, I went kind of on a tangent there. But if you have any questions about this, let me do. Okay. So we're so good here. Ship lips. So what I was getting at, we have a web page, and does that web page do anything currently?
I mean, it's a bunch of information if you click the links.
That is a good point. Yes. Yeah. Actually, yeah. It displays information, and it does. Yeah. Yeah. You're correct. You're correct.
It's not very interactive.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It does not. It's not. It's not. So it doesn't process any information. Pretty much, it just displays HTML files. And up to here, pretty much that's what a designer does in a way, right? If we were cooler and we had the skills, let's just pretend that we have, our page would look cool and everything, and it had a lot of CSS and pictures and stuff, and it would be sweet. But right now we're not doing that, so our page is just not doing anything. But now we're going to step into kind of the development side. We're going to have our website actually do something. And mainly, the way we do that is by using forms. So, let's see. All right. This is going to be a bit tricky, but it's fine. Okay. So, what we're going to do here, let's create some kind of form here, and that form is going to get, well, yeah, we're going to get. Let's see. Let's get the name of a person and the age, I guess. And then we'll figure out what we want to do with them, okay? All right. So let's see. Oh, actually, let me just go back and let's go back and do how we do it. Do you guys remember that we were talking about forms and all that good stuff? So let's go back to what we learned. I think this is very important. HTML. All right, HTML forms. Look at that. Do you guys remember this back in the day?
Yep.
Back in the day. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So we
copy and paste all that, huh?
That's right. Look at that. And well, let's see if it works or if it does anything really. We're not sure if it's gonna work or if it's gonna do anything. And do you guys want to do it here? Yeah, I guess this is fine. Actually, before we do that, let's create our own page. Let's create a new page called add member. Is that cool?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, so remember what we're gonna do. Let's take something simple here and just let's
have us be able to like append the roster by doing this other page.
Well, that's what I was just thinking about that, but that can get tricky, so probably not. We'll see. Let's see. That was kind of the goal, but I want you guys to get one of the concepts before we even get there.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, yeah. I'm sorry. What was it?
It sounds magical.
Yeah. No, it's we'll get there, but I don't want to skip some steps because this is very important right here. This is the magic. This is the magic right here. Yeah. Okay, so add member. Dot CSHTML, I guess. Yes. All right. Now remember, always click on it. Blim. Okay. So what we're gonna do is let's call it. What do we call it? Let's call it add member. Member. And now, what do we want here? Now this is where we want the form that we want it, right? I'm gonna be hopping around. Let me know if I'm too fast or too slow or something. Feel free. Add member here, blips. And this is nice. But what exactly all right, so I got a page here. So what are we missing first of all if we're adding a new page? Well, let me go back, sorry. Okay, we have a new page, add member. What are two things that we need in order to
we were looking for what their age and their name?
Yes, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, but how do we use the add member page? How do we access it? What are we missing?
Oh, the home controller.
Okay. So Well, yeah, now we have to kind of, because now what we're going to do, it's going to be kind of interesting. So we have our page, it's called add member. So for now, forget it's a form or anything. So we want to get to it. So how do we get to it? Let's see. Remember, we had a roster page too, so we kind of, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, so we're gonna basically copy paste the public action result and
Yep,
everything in the brackets.
pretty much, yes. All of this means is, you see, return something of type action result. For our purposes, action result is pretty much almost everything. It's a bunch of types. So what do we call it?
Add member.
That's right. View. Is it in the home controller? That's where we created it, right? So it exists. It will tell you if it doesn't exist here, by the way. It says like, hey man, this view doesn't exist. What's up? And this is going to return this view here. And what else we're missing? If I were to click this here, I'm going to click it. You guys have 10 seconds.
You want a link on the.
That's right. That is right. You want a link on each page with it, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, okay, so let's go to a roster page, and I'm going to add it. Okay. Okay, so do you guys see that every time, how many pages we have here? We have 5, right?
Yes.
Around there. So in order to add the link, the new link for the new page, what do I have to do? You guys see?
That's what going to be the name. The next one is the controller, and then the final
Yep.
one, I forget how it works.
No, yes.
No, the last one is the controller.
Yeah. Exactly. But do you see? Yeah. First one is just the title of the link, the text of the link, and the second one is the action. But, and this is important too because I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it slow here. So we added this link here on this page, right? Because we have a new page called, we have a new page called Add Member. And where else do I need to add this? Because right now it's only on roster.
It's going to be on all the pages.
Exact.
Layout.
Well, let's see. I'm getting there. Okay, so you see. Oh, what? That was weird. Put this here. There we go. So I'm adding that link to add member. So let me see. Add member. Let's add it here. Why is it doing this? This is freaking weird. Okay, does contact have it? Okay. Contact does not have it. So I'm going to have to do it here as well. Okay, so how about index? And look at that, index does not have it. Yeah, that's right. This taking a little bit, right? Look at that. Okay. And roster has it. So in order for me to add a new link in the navigation system, the navigation bar, I had to go through each freaking page and add the freaking link, right?
Wow.
That's kind of a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's a pain in the ass. So you could sort of see the benefit in having one page that you could have all the links, and pretty much you use that, you use that navigation for all your pages, pretty much, or all the pages that you want. So that's why you guys remember this layout here, this layout page. Yep. That's why we're using the layout page. If we use the layout page, then we would only have to add it here. And then since all our pages use the layout page for the navigation, then all we need to just change here, and then we wouldn't have to go individually through each freaking page and changing it. A second, let me get a drink here. So that's pretty cool, right? So you guys sort of get the idea why a layout is important or why it's good. That way you don't have to duplicate code in a lot of places. You could just do it in one place. So let's hit this. Let's see what happens. All right. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see. Let's test our links. Okay. I'm gonna go to add member. It's gonna go to home. Add member. Let's click it. Boom. Oh, look at that. You guys see it? So if we go to add member, we have a brand new sweet page, and it's awesome. And that does it do? We could type in it, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Oh yeah. Okay, so so far so good over here. You guys know where we're at. Nice. So 2 questions. Okay, so now I want you to, in your mind, I want you to think about this. Okay. Currently, we have a web page called Add Member that holds the form. Let's see. Gotta bang this out a little bit here. That holds the form. Okay, you guys see it here. I think it's all that stuck or something. Damn it all, stop it. Okay, here. So that holds the form. And again, all this is just a bunch of HTML. And where is my form submitting that information? See, I threw you a curve here. Well, where do you think in your imagination? Where do you think? We haven't gone over that, but where do you think that it should go?
The web server?
That's right.
Yes.
Let me try. I'm eating some cheese here. So the web server, but where and what kind of stuff?
The code the compile codes.
That's right. Yep. So remember, everything that we deal with, because it's MVC, Model Viewer Controller, has to go somewhere. We have to send it somewhere in order to be processed. So the idea of a form is that we have a form that collects information, and we're sending it somewhere to get processed. In this case, what have we, I mean, in MVC, in the MVC world, those are called actions, like we just did, right? Because there's different types of actions. Okay? Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky, but we will get there. So we have an action that processes and gives us the view for add member. We agree on that, right? That's what we've done so far.
Yeah.
And you know, we have an action here that does it. In fact, if we go back to our controller, we have an action that does exactly that. It gets the view for add member. But we don't have an action that processes the information that this view collects. Oh, I think I closed it. Yeah, that the view collects. So we need to do that. This might be a bit tricky for you, but we will get it. Let me know. Let's see. So let's see. I am going to call it. Well, it's going to be home. Oh, god damn it. Hold on, because I think when, oh, is the freaking, oh, okay, I think the end key was stuck. I think I found it. So home, and then we're gonna call it process member. Did you guys read that at all? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know if it's confusing. Yeah. I don't know. Call it like this, maybe. Is that better? Yeah, just process member. All right. So far, Ideally, we want this form to go to a place, let's say in the home controller, right? And the action should be called process member. So the information magically should be routed there, should be sent there. Whether or not that's going to work, it's up to us. Let's see. Okay, so remember we're working with a controller, so we're going to do that. It's going to look a little weird. Don't don't freak out. It is all good. This is part of the MVC learning. No worries. Well, what did I call it?
Process _ member.
Okay. I went to a strip club called that as well, I think, somewhere. But let's see. Process member. And what kind of information are we passing to this? We're passing it to text boxes. Actually, yeah. Let's just say it's a number or something. Number, and let's not give it any value. Let's just say they're empty for now. Name is going to be age. First name, age, submit. Okay, this works. Okay, so remember what I told you, that what are the names here? So this is, remember when we talking about functions? So an action can be a type of a function that receives data from the outside. Okay, this is going to be it's going to be a step, but you'll get it in a second. String, first name, and age. Okay. Well, let's see if this somewhat works. Okay, so whole process member, same name. Let's see. HTTP post. This is just magic words. Don't worry about it. I know. Don't get confused. I'm just throwing some stuff at it. This is new knowledge. Okay, so I'm just gonna do something here and hope that it works. It probably won't work, but let's see. Pretty sure I forgot something. But like I said, some of these things, certain areas and certain parts of the course, you probably, you will have to take it on faith, at least at the beginning. And as we go, you're going to kind of start discovering the magic of how things work. But, okay, so let's say add member, right? And I forgot to change this thing, but let's just call it age. Let's do that now, I guess. Age. Save it. 5. You see how cool that changed? Okay, so first name Caesar. Age, I don't know, 11. Yeah. Okay, so
Funny.
A couple of things now. Let's go back because we want to use our tools, right? If I wanted to see the form and where the form submits to, how would I do that?
F12.
That's right. That's right. Let me F12. Go to this piece of cheese here. Okay, so F12. So in order to reach the closest point to the form, you hit the closest, element on top. So this is going to be, so this is the first element in the form. You go to it here, right? And then you go up, and then you look for the form element. All right, so our form is going to submit to home process member. Okay, so in a perfect world, we're going to send this information to a controller called home and an action called process member. Well, let's see if that works. I'm gonna press it. You guys ready? You guys excited?
Ready and waiting.
Okay, let's see. Oh crap!
Wow, it crashed.
Well, exactly. Let's see. Let's see what happened. Okay, so is expected. So what exactly? What is it telling us? What is it telling us? You're looking for. So it's telling us that it doesn't know what this is. It doesn't know what home process member is. This is weird. Let's see. So did we forget anything?
When we press the button, is it trying to send us to process member? Should we want to stay on the same page or go to a confirmation page instead?
Oh no, that's that's advanced stuff, my friend. That is super advanced stuff.
Well, I guess I'm surprised because it took us away from the page at all.
Oh yeah, no, that's how it is in a way. I mean, for now, that's how it is. It doesn't have to, but since we're kind of starting, it's this is kind of the way we're doing it now. It's kind of yeah, it's kind of it is now. We'll get to the when we don't have to do that later. Okay, so process member. Uh, yeah, this is kind of weird because it should. Oh wait.
When we were looking at the page information, it looked like it was indicating that the string didn't
Doesn't
have a
it?
value assigned.
Hmm. Could be. Well, let's see. Because this is supposed to be set up as receiving, and it should be, but maybe I'm forgetting something. Let's see. It's not. Maybe this is not correct here. Hmm. Return view. Well, I mean, the view doesn't exist. It's going to crash here because we don't have a view related to this. But that's not really why it should crash because we have a. Let me see if I'm forgetting something because this really should. It should stop here. Unless some of the settings are kind of off. Well, let me see. Hold on. Okay, submit. Submitting. Here we go. Home. Process member. First name. That is really weird. I mean, that exists here.
Is there like a case?
I think it might.
We didn't do.
Probably, yeah, maybe. Well, this is good. This is part of the fun, trying to figure out what we did wrong here. So I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with the form. Give me 1 second. Let me bring up one of my normal forms. Mm-hmm.
Professional googling.
Exactly, yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah. Because normally I don't build forms like this. I build them another way. So we're gonna hit these kind of things once in a while. Please forgive me. There we go. Yeah, HTTP post. Agent result. Yeah, this should be fine. Create folder. No, that's perfectly fine. Wonder why. Well, let me try this. Add member, HTTP post. Because sometimes, the way this Visual Studio works one of the settings or something might be a little different. So bear with me. If not, I'll have to research for next time or something. Member.
That was one of the most frustrating things I remember about Python was there were so many different versions, and every tutorial you could find was in a different version, and nothing ever worked. And
Oh, yeah. This
started
we should be
encountering that
okay, I hope.
idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I'm being dumb and I forgot something. So let's see. Give it a second here. Let me just kill this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I forgot something somewhere. Just give it a second here. This is not my project, so let me kill it. Yeah, normally, yeah, this is it. Public. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something, something dumb. Submit. HTTP post. Add member. 11. Here we go. Yeah, I think this one's something is weird here. It's not even. Let's see. Add member. It's submitting, but it's not taking it. Test 11. Yeah, that's weird. I'm gonna have to come back to this, I think, and check it out because I know I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something, but I'm gonna have to go and give it a little test and check it out because I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something stupid or something when dealing with one of the. Oh, wow! God damn it! God damn it! I think I might have 1 second. I think it's post type. Damn, dude. Yeah. What is it? Google is your friend, my friend. Let's go back to it. Because for these, you have to say. I think it's. God damn it, David. Hold on. Email. Form. Post method type, I believe it is. Give me a second. There you go. This is what we need, I believe. Bear with me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it has to be in big words too, maybe. Oh, okay, suppose. This might be it. Not sure. Did I forget something here? Okay, let's see. Okay, let us pray. Did I put it here? Okay. There we go. Cash money. Yes. Magic. Beautiful. Okay, I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, let me go. Yep. Okay. See, so now we know, you see this is good right here. You can't forget method equals post because you're doing a post. I will go over what post and get are soon. Yes. So for now, do me a favor, right? And do you guys remember how we had it set up before? Process member. Just make believe that it's like this. And method. Let's pass. Okay. Let's see if this works. Also, do you guys see how we're getting faster just writing some code, saving it, going to test it, and going back and forth, back and forth? See, that's good. We got to develop that flow. Okay, let's see if this works here. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now let's pretend that we didn't waste that time. So whenever we're dealing with forms, do not forget that post method. It's very important. I kind of forgot about it because the helper that I use kind of includes it for you, because I mean you're using a freaking form, so it kind of by default, you know what I mean? So remember, Google's your friend. Google is your friend. So the magic, let's go back to the magic. We have a form is going to an action called process member, and in this action we're going to do stuff to process member, and we're sending this action here. And you guys see the name of this text box, we called it first name, and the number we called it age, right? When we hit submit, it magically gets sent to the server. See, so this is what I wanted to get to, because this is the magic part here. The controller, it's our compiled code. Just remember that. Add member is an HTML page. Home controller is going to be compiled later on, and it's just code. It's a DLL somewhere or something. And it's magically what's going to happen is, again, we're telling this form, send all this information, these inputs. When you hit submit, and send it to the home controller and the process action. And this is the home controller and the process action. So this is what is going to be receiving any post that comes in to this whole application. And guess what? Let's see if there's magic. Okay, so, oh, look at that. You guys see that? We got the values that we put on the form get sent to the server. So, and they get put in here. You see age 11. So this is really, really cool and really, really, really powerful, because the excuse me, .NET automatically maps things for you. You don't have to. You could do it yourself, but it's smart enough to say, oh, okay, I'm getting a whole bunch of data from a form somewhere, but if anywhere in that data there's there's something called first name, that's a string, that fits in a string, I'm going to put it in here. And from all that information in that form, if there's anything called age, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to put it in this variable. And remember, what are variables? What are variables? You guys remember? You guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
It's a storage of memory.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a square in memory somewhere that holds some value and that we can change. It keeps track of stuff pretty much. It's just boxes in memory that keep track of stuff. Yeah. And I put a breakpoint here, so that means this is where the execution of the program stopped. And we got process member. Right now we're not really doing anything with it. So we got a first name and we got a sweet age. And let me ask you a question. What will happen if I continue if I return a view? What will happen? What do you think?
Will it
Think
just
about it.
send us on the page, but the information will still be on the back end? We won't see anything change?
Well, because remember, you're returning a view. Which view?
Something called process. No.
That's right.
Process.
Does that exist?
Which is empty.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. So let's make believe that we're doing something with this data, right? And we're returning a view. All right. I'm gonna hit continue.
All right.
Oh,
Woo!
Oh wow! What the heck?
yeah. What's it telling me?
Process member action doesn't exist.
That's right. Well, it means the HTML for it doesn't exist. It's saying, hey man,
Right.
you have a view. Yeah, you have a view called process member. Process member. I don't see anything. Like, what do you want me to show when we process a member? So right now we don't have anything really to show when we're processing a member. So we could do two things. We could have a new page, right? We could have a new page called process member, in which we display the name of that, of the member we just process. Let's see. Or we could return the add member. Well, I mean the roster function. I mean the roster view. You could in fact say, hey man, because you could state what view you want to return. You could say, hey, we're going to return this cool, we're going to return roster. Remember, all of this is just routing. All right, so roster. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. I know this is kind of cyclical and it's it's kind of tricky, but once you get the flow, it won't be that bad. Okay, so I'm going to add a member. Okay, Caesar, page 11. So when I hit submit, what will happen?
There, go to roster page.
That's right. Roster. Let's see. Boom. Look at that. So, but our information is kind of lost, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's in there. We're not doing much with it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's lost. We're not keeping it anywhere. It's not. It's just gone. Because once we go to this view, the information is not passed anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That is one of the things that it's you have to. I mean, we'll get there. It's kind of keeping certain information around our state. But let's say that we had a magical way of passing information from here to a view. So in this case, let's call it a view bag. Mm-hmm.
There's that word again, bag.
Yeah, yeah. So in this case, this is not a very good way, but let's just call it new member. I just want you guys to get sort of the idea. We won't go too, I mean, we're almost done. I just want you guys to get this idea right here. So if I had a first name, okay, right here. Okay, imagine something called a view bag, which is a magical way of passing information from here to the next screen with the next view. Right? Okay. So let's see if okay, so we call it member. I'm just gonna do this quick here. We will go more in depth later, right? So we have this. And then let's just say
Another way of creating basically a public data structure where we're going to be able to share it outside the.
yeah, it is pretty much. It's just a public way of just passing info from one to the other. There's other ways, like using something called a model. But for now, this is just a quick, dirty way of passing info right now. Well, let me ask you a question. Um, so you got this item here, new member. What if there's no information in here? We're not passing any information here. What that's going to be? Because here, when we go to process member, we're putting information in here, right? But when we go to roster, this thing, it won't know what it is. So, well, let's see. I'm just throwing you some curves here, going a little quick, but no worries.
So originally we defined a null for the string, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, we should. But let's go to roster. Let's see what happens in roster. We're ready? Boom. Okay. Yeah. By default, it's null because it's a string. The system is smart enough to set defaults on a lot of, for example, default for integer or long is 0, and strings is null. So if there's nothing, it won't really output anything here. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So let's go to add member. Let's go to user 11, and then let's hit submit. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. So let's take a few seconds to go over it and see see where we're at. Okay, so let's. What happens if I go to roster again?
We're gonna lose all that.
Yep, because it doesn't remember. It doesn't know where what it is. But let's go back to add member. Let's get Caesar. I'm gonna go to it, but I'm gonna do slower now. Okay, we're past the first name right here. We're putting it sort of in a kind of like a container called a view bag that holds a bunch of information if you wanted to, and that gets passed behind the scenes to the view. And which view are we going to next? Anybody know? Well, we're returning roster, right? And so we go to the roster view here. Okay, we return roster, and roster will have Caesar because in here we're saying, hey, if you have any info, anything called new member, if it exists, put the value in here. If you don't, then really don't do anything. Okay.
Can we change that to automatically do that as a new list item? Like we just keep adding new ones?
Yes, we can. That is beyond today's lecture, I guess, but we will. We definitely will. There are ways of keeping track of items and things, but this is kind of at first it's going to seem, because remember this is very MVC is supposed to be very light and very fast. Well, yeah, and it is, especially compared to MVC. So you notice a lot of these things, the views and the routes, they're pretty, they don't hold, and they really shouldn't. It all depends. They don't have a lot of information. Unless you use something like a model or you pass the information in here. Let's see. So I hope that made sense. Probably not. It's fine. Okay, so
yeah, that's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what the takeaway for today is, we have controllers. We use a form to send information to the controllers using post. I will go over what a post and a get is soon. That's kind of like the basics of how HTTP works and how the internet works pretty much. And we go to a controller and then we process it and then we return some kind of value. Um, I know I'm kind of assuming that you guys know and understand because maybe you should because we went over it, but you understand how it's kind of a function that we're sending parameters to, correct?
Yeah, you're defining the arguments in the parentheses.
Exactly. And this is the name of the function, arguments. So this is sort of, it's pretty much the same thing as a Java, or very similar to a JavaScript function. So remember, this is called, it's an action, but it also acts as a function or a method. This is a result type. This is what type of stuff you're going to be returning, the name, and the arguments. And this is whether or not it's public or private, which we will go over later. It's one step at a time. Okay, so how confused are you guys? What's up? Talk to me. You guys good with this so far? Let me switch over here. Let me turn on over here. Okay, yeah. What do you guys think about what we learned so far? It's confusing. You guys up to it?
For the most part, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Trying to put the pieces together and move up from what we're learning, like try and figure out where we're going.
Yeah.
And with mixed success.
Yeah, no. Well, you guys understood the parts so far, and pretty much that is the heart of what we're going to be doing. That's the heart of web development, really. You have an action, some kind of event that happens in the front end. You send that information back to be processed to the back end, and then you do something with it. Either you save the information, or you send back the information to the UI to display it, or tell the user, is like, hey, it worked, the addition worked, or like, oh man, no, or it crashed or something. So it's so you guys are getting the flow of things, which is very, very, very important. We will be going into more in-depth, examples, but I think you guys got, definitely got this, and this is where it's going to get more interesting, really, because this is where the real, kind of real work and real stuff will begin. Soon I'll be able to actually show you code from my job, and you will be able to figure out what it is it's doing. In a way, not everything, because it's going to seem jumbled a little bit. But okay, so when do we meet again? I think because I think you had something going on Sunday. I think.
Yeah, we'll be up in North Jersey on Sunday. Hey, feel free to join us.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I don't know. I'm all over the place all the time. How north up? It's like north. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Jersey City.
Oh, that's east of me. Yeah, I forgot. Yes. So it's not that bad. All right. So maybe not this Sunday. We'll play it by ear. So maybe it could either be Monday or Tuesday or Saturday. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Saturday's not good for a lot of people, but we'll see. Maybe do a quickie. But all right. So for now, let's play it by ear. Is that cool?
Yes.
Good for me.
Okay, and let me, have your friend talk to me, and just contact me in any way, and then we'll add him to the group, and then we'll get him in.
Okay. Yeah, I passed Joey the info. I can pass you her info as well if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, she was confident and interested, and I've done a code camp type thing with her once before, and.
Oh no, we're going all the way. We're going all the way.
She's pretty cool.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, just have her contact me, and then we'll go. Continue. So I'll let you know. If we don't meet, we probably won't. I'll try to make some slides to get some of this together, and bring it together. That way it's easier to at least remember. Yeah, but so far so good. You guys are getting the good stuff. You guys are definitely getting the good stuff. I mean, yeah, getting understanding some of the tricksy things. Okay, so we are done for now, and keep doing the do. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy.
Take it easy,
Good one.
Caesar.
Yep. Now to eat.
Okay.